Known as one of the greatest world leaders, an inspiration to many, and the 42nd President of the United States, Bill Clinton achieved many things, not just as a world leader but also as a community man. Yet even as a man of intellect, he's not been so perfect. This is the biography of Bill Clinton. Before we dive into his biography, please hit the like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Early days and diplomatic background. William Jefferson Blythe III was born on August 19, 1949, in Hope, Arkansas, United States, to Williams Jefferson Blythe, who died 3 months before his birth, and Virginia Dell Blythe, who later got married to Roger Clinton, whose name William would later take. His early days were greatly influenced by two strong women, his mother and maternal grandmother, who never saw eye to eye, and also competed for his attention. It was as though he was destined to play a diplomatic character from childhood, with the frequent absence of his energetic and free-spirited mother, who was taking nursing lectures at that time in New Orleans. Bill was trained by a strong-willed and disciplinarian grandmother to be a proper boy of character and intellect. In 1950, his mother married Roger Clinton, a car dealer who favored the taste of liquor. Williams decided to adopt his stepfather's name, and he was known as Bill Clinton in no time. By the time Bill was 15, his mother was tired of her husband's behavior. The endless arguments led to a divorce, and Bill, being yet in the middle of a fight between two people he loved, had to find strategies for them to come back together, which became a reality in a few years. As a young man trained with character and raised by love, Bill was a child many wished for. He was not just an excellent student in school, he was also a dedicated Baptist church member, active in the choir, and also an outspoken young man who wasn't scared to make his point known, especially in political matters. And before long, he was recognized as a young man of rare talents and exceptional worldview. His interest in politics started from a young age, and his mother's encouraging words that she knew he would one day become the President of the United States fueled his zeal. His political foundation. If Bill's childhood was influenced greatly by his mother and grandmother, his political foundation and ambition was solidified by his high school principal, Johnny May Mackey. Bill attended an all-white school in Arkansas, where his journey in politics actively started. Johnny Mackey was focused on the leadership, qualities, and prospects of her students, and she did everything strategically possible to achieve this. And when she saw the qualities of an exceptional leader in Bill Clinton, she didn't hesitate to take him under her wings for mentoring. Bill became her brightest disciple, and it was in her mentorship he had the opportunity to be sent to Washington, D.C. as one of the 2 Arkansas delegates to Boys Nation, an imitation political convention sponsored by the American Legion. The 17-year-old Bill Clinton was opportune to meet one of his respected political idol, President John F. Kennedy, in the White House Rose Garden, another inspiration for his political involvement. In 1964, Clinton graduated from high school and gained admission into Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. as an international affairs major student. He was determined to finish his course successfully, winning many scholarships and even working part-time. However, while Clinton might have had a blissful high school experience, his university days were challenging. He had to work strategically and harder than ever, as he was an outsider from backwoods Arkansas. He had to compete with the school press's bashers to gain other student support. But regardless of his obstacles, Clinton had the brains but also the charms, look, energy, and charisma which helped him climb the ladder of leadership to the presidency in the student government in his first and second year classes. While it seemed that Clinton was cutting off his obstacles, he, however, encountered his first defeat in politics in his junior year, when he lost a presidential election to a lesser-known opponent due to his over-ambitiousness and willingness to please everyone, which was not a good impression to many of his mates. The Vietnam War Dilemma. Bill was not discouraged by his defeat. Instead, he was opportune to join the US Senate Foreign Relations Committee in his junior year as a clerk. He had a different political arising influenced greatly by the leader of the committee, J. Williams Fulbright, who also happened to be the forefront critic of the US involvement in the Vietnam War. Fulbright believed that the United States had no moral justification for being in Vietnam. Clinton supported this point of view, and this belief almost affected his journey to greatness. Before his graduation, Clinton got a Rhodes Scholarship to study at Oxford University in England, where he was going to study government. Coincidentally, the enlistment of young fellas for the Vietnam War started, and all young males were to be drafted. Helped by some of his community in Arkansas to get education deferments, Bill avoided being drafted to England. He even enrolled but never joined the Army Reserve Officers Corps, or ROTC. Yet, even after having a chance to escape participating in something he didn't believe was right, he was torn between his sense of kinship with his friends and former schoolmates at the war front in Vietnam, and his moral conviction that the Vietnam War was wrong. He didn't know if he should go back to his homeland. However, in 1969, he decided to resubject himself to the draft and went back to Arkansas, where luck found him. He entered the draft to be rejected as he received a high number, 311. He changed his mind about joining the ROTC program and wrote a letter to the program's director, thanking him for saving him from the draft, and regretted misleading him by not revealing the extent of his opposition to the war, a letter that would fuel criticism against him when he runs for presidency. He returned to England, took it upon himself to advocate against the war, and participated in several anti-war demonstrations. He also met a good-looking lady, Hillary Rodham, whom he later married. The journey to the White House. Upon his return from England, Bill Clinton began law school at Yale University, where he maintained his interest in government by campaigning for a Senate candidate in Connecticut. In 1973, Clinton returned to Arkansas to teach at the University of Arkansas. A year later, he ran for Congress against a Republican incumbent, John Paul Hammerschmidt, which he lost. That didn't stop him, and he continued his journey with strategic publicity of himself. He was also joined by Hillary, who also started teaching at the same university before long. The two got married, giving birth to a beautiful daughter 5 years later. A year after his wedding in 1976, he was elected as Arkansas Attorney General. By 32 years of age, he became the governor of Arkansas, making him the youngest governor in that state and the United States. His focus as a governor was creating a better educational system and road network in Arkansas. Sadly, even with a good vision, Clinton was too inexperienced to understand how to achieve his goals, which left many of his supporters unimpressed, especially after increasing the auto license fees to pay for road construction, and his incapability to resolve the riot among some Cuban refugees. This led to the loss of his re-election bid. Nevertheless, Clinton knew he had so much to offer and admitted to his mistakes in the next election. His charm and well-strategized publicity convinced the people to give him their votes for a second chance. In 1982, Bill won the election and became governor. He maintained his leadership for 4 terms, after which he decided to move up the ladder to offer what he had to the whole of the United States. He decided to become the president. Governor Clinton had the vision to improve the healthcare system and education system, the road system, and most of all, the economy and job opportunities. How could a man from Arkansas capture the people's hearts? Clinton's campaign strategy team was of a different caliber. He went door to door, holding one-on-one conversations with people in town hall meetings, and building good publicity using the growing technology of the media and TV talk shows. On November 3rd, 1992, Election Day, a record number of voters showed up to cast their ballots, making Bill Clinton the 42nd President of the United States, defeating George H.W. Bush. One major significance of the election was that Governor Clinton had successfully united the populace in their attempts to transform our nation. As president-elect, Clinton vowed to focus on economic issues like a laser beam, striving especially to combat the American economy's lackluster development. He also aimed to reshape the Democratic Party by emphasizing middle-class causes, including government spending to boost the economy, strict criminal justice policies, employment for welfare recipients, and tax reform that transferred the burden to the wealthy. Clinton supported other traditional liberal causes, including gay rights, universal health care, gun control, legalized abortion, and environmental protection. A leader and a man. During his first term as president, Clinton suffered a major setback when Congress vehemently rejected the First Lady's intricate healthcare reform program. Republicans began an active campaign against Clinton in 1994, and for the first time since 1955, they won majorities in both chambers of Congress. Clinton, knowing that if he caved in, his goals would not be achieved, retaliated by taking advantage of Republican errors and the ferocious attacks launched against him by his conservative rivals. Clinton presented a strong and uncompromising image when he declined to sign a contentious budget approved by the Republican-controlled Congress. Congress then orchestrated a government shutdown to pressure Clinton to relent, but Clinton resisted and the opposition gave up. Due to this, Clinton was re-elected as president again, but his success would stumble in this next phase. He failed to reform the healthcare system he'd passionately convinced the people that he would, which was a major setback for him. Nevertheless, President Clinton pursued a moderate but progressive domestic agenda in the wake of the early failure of his healthcare reform campaign. During his administration, the welfare system was changed, the sale of guns was prohibited, environmental laws were improved, and a substantial federal budget deficit was turned into a surplus. The president might have done things that would benefit the country's future, but it almost didn't matter when he tried to cover his sexual involvement with a White House intern, Monica Lewinsky. The American people could care less about his involvement, with the intern finding the actions of Congress excessive. The American people's president accepted responsibility for his actions and committed to continue doing everything in his power to serve them. Because of this, Bill Clinton, the 42nd President of the United States, left office with historically high ratings for his work. President Clinton has spent his time since leaving office working with this foundation to guide the creation of international initiatives. If you like this biography, please like the video and subscribe to our channel to be amongst the first to know when we release a new video. Here are more videos for you to watch. See you in one of the next videos.